So when I was thinking about today's message, I thought about, what do you learn? So if I were you to ask you to name the most important thing that you've learned just in your life, what would you say? Would it be some complex math equation or a history lesson, or is it just something more basic? So I don't know if many of you remember, there was a book out a while ago, a pretty long time ago. It's All I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten by Robert Fulghum. And it talks about a list of 16 things that we all learned in kindergarten that would help us through life. Well, during these COVID times, I've been thinking about that book, and it's really pertinent today. Some of the things are selfishly good, like warm cookies and milk are really good for you. But others are biblically good, like don't hit people, don't take things that aren't yours, and say you are sorry when you hurt someone. So when I think about my own Christian education upbringing, it was really basic. The church I grew up in was about a quarter the size of this church, so it was super small. And we didn't have any Sunday school at all. Actually, there were only 2 children in the church, my Aunt Terry, who was 2 years older than me, and myself. So I learned lessons about the Bible while acolyting or going to the vacation Bible school down the street at the Methodist church. So fast forward to when I had my own children, and Sunday school was a big deal. My children's Sunday school was a mini version of our church. They had a kids' church where they learned the litany of what the adults did in big people's church. And then we had Sunday school lessons after church. And I loved teaching 4th grade Sunday school. We learned Bible lessons through play. We cooked in Mary and Martha's kitchen. We did experiments or played games to interpret the lessons from the Bible that were told long, long ago. So when I think about Christian education and how it's evolved, there are just so many varied experiences. And when people ask me about Christian education and how we teach it in today's world, which has become a bit topsy-turvy, I think to myself, now is the time to teach more than ever. In Sunday school, we spend a good amount of time just learning about the Bible and how to use it. I mean, it's a big book, and it's divided up into so many parts, but the parts, I tell them, are like a series. They're each individual stories, and they're so good. So in the Bible, we learn things like how you can create a whole world and have a flood and a floating community of animals, a magical birth, a death that won't be the end, and fun and outlandish things like locusts en masse and the little guy beating a giant, and my favorite, the basis for laws and living in communion together, the 10 Commandments. As a lawyer, I really like that one. And at the heart of each story, over the past 4 years, we broke it down into one thing that we found was at the heart of every story. What was the most important lesson, idea, or action? To us, we boiled it down to it was to be kind. That no matter what, we could always be kind. Jesus always found a way to teach that what was good, or the way to lead, was to be kind and love. And he showed others that it wasn't as important to be something else other than to be kind and to love each other. So no matter what the lesson was that we learned that day, what I hoped the kids took away with them was to learn to always be a friend to those who needed understanding, to love even those who may hurt you, and to be kind even when that is not the easiest thing to do. So today is bittersweet for me. You see, I really don't like endings. Be it happy or sad, I just don't like the end of something. Take graduation, for example. It's a happy time. Young people are moving into the next exciting phase of their lives, and I am over the moon happy for all of them. But as a parent and a teacher in the church, I get a little sad because things are changing. Even though I know it is for the better and that the graduates are growing, I still miss what was. Today I'm saying goodbye to what has been an exciting, fulfilling, creative, and most of all, fun position in this church. As much as I would like to think that I taught the kids of Pilgrim important lessons, truth be told, they taught me so much more. Christian education has changed vastly over the years, but one thing that has stayed the same is the message that God is love, and we spread God's love by showing kindness, grace, and humility to one another. So back to the book, Everything I Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. My favorite item that we need to know on that list is this one. When you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, Hold hands and stick together. It's a sometimes scary world out there, and it's always changing. But if we stick together, look out for and love each other, we will all be fine. Being here together with these kids and adults who teach in each of you has been a privilege and an honor. Thank you.